Good morning. Welcome to the channel. Gray cloudy day. I'm Gray Cloud, sage of the eternal moment. I haven't been up real long. Still dealing with the left arm. Oh well, where this muscle's pulled. Well, sometimes I'm having pain here where I broke the arm, and I think that's probably some arthritis. But this muscle I mentioned the other day, if you look, it's not, it's bulging out when I do this right here. Pulled it last year, trying to move my refrigerator. I think I pulled it or could have ripped it. And of course I've mentioned that, and it really wasn't bothering me until this past, probably in the past week and a half. It started like a week and a half ago or longer, a little bit longer maybe. Not quite 2 weeks ago. Stuff started just aching. My shoulder started aching, and within a few days it was right here and where the muscle's been messed up. And then sometimes my forearm. I'm hard-headed about trying to call and make appointments for a doctor and stuff. I just don't like dealing with the medical system, but sometimes we have to. So hopefully between now and next week, if this arm does not get to feeling somewhat better, even though I think it's improving, and I'm trying to give myself enough rest, and I'm trying to watch what I do during the day too. So, trying not to overdo it. So if it doesn't improve by next week or whatever, I'll probably have to get somewhere and just have them look at it. Hopefully we can figure it out and get that arm situated. Let's get into, I'm going to do a Jesus Calling video. And I got exciting news. I got the Jesus Always book in yesterday. I'm not going to start it yet. I kind of opened it up and glanced at it yesterday. So this will be what I'm going to try to I'm going to try to work our way from, in a few days, going from Jesus Calling to this book, Jesus Always. Basically, it's written by the same person, and it's a similar type book. It's a devotional. It'll give us a reading, and then at the bottom, it will have reference scriptures also. So I may do a short little video of a snippet of that, just a sample, so people can see what's hopefully coming here in a few days. I think by next week we should be starting this book. So now let's get into July 10th, Jesus Calling. Relax in my peaceful presence. Do not bring performance pressures into our sacred space of communion. When you're with someone you trust completely, you feel free to be yourself. This is one of the joys of true friendship. Though I am Lord of Lords and King of Kings, I also desire to be your intimate friend. When you are tense or pretentious in our relationship, I feel hurt. I know the worst about you, but I also see the best in you. I long for you to trust me enough to be fully yourself with me. When you're real with me, I'm able to bring out the best in you, the very gifts I have planted in your soul. Relax and enjoy our friendship. I wonder sometimes how many people really take being a friend to the Christ or to the Spirit, or a friend to the big kahuna, however you personally may label the entity. But we know what we're talking about here. I wonder sometimes how serious do people take being a friend. I hear a lot of people a lot of times, oh, Jesus is my friend, God's my friend, this is my friend, whatever. But then sometimes in their movements and the way that they present themselves, it doesn't seem like they really believe what they're saying. And maybe sometimes someone could say that about me, probably during the times where I'm not quite in sync and I'm not paying attention or communicating very well with the Spirit. There could be times that people can look at me and go, man, I don't know if he really believes what he says. But I do believe what I say as far as when it comes to things like that. And I've stated time and time again over the past little while, I miss the mark every day. I miss the mark every day. But it doesn't mean I don't try to shoot for that mark, that bullseye every day also. And it's only through the spiritual guidance that I do receive during the day sometimes that can help me get closer to the mark, whether I hit it or not. Okay, let's get into the scripture references. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 16. May the Lord of peace himself always give you his peace no matter what happens. The Lord be with you all. Good one there. There was something that stuck out in this reading here on the main reading. Do not bring performance pressures into our sacred space of communion. I think for me, that tells me, like during my day, I'm constantly being hard on myself if I'm not. I get up, I do a video. I might go for the morning walks that I've been getting back into. And here lately, I've been doing a couple of walks, getting some pretty. I'm happy with that. But there's times during the day I still go, am I doing enough? I'm not doing enough. Or I'm just and here lately I've been having to learn. Sometimes it's okay to take a little break in the middle of the day. If you've done a few things, if you've gotten up great cloud and you've done a list of certain things by a certain time, well, don't put yourself under such pressure that you think it's got to be like all complete every minute of the day. Sometimes just laying and resting in a calm spot can also be what I need to be doing. Hence what I've been talking about, the message that's loud and clear to me. Find where you're at and be there. So wherever I'm at, I need to learn to be there in that moment and accept it. And if I can change that moment and be somewhere else, then do it. But if I can't, be where I'm at. Okay, Revelation. I'm getting a little bit, it's kind of humid this morning. We do have a chance of rain today again. Had some storms yesterday afternoon. I'm hoping we get a little more rain today than we have in the past. Now, the past 2 afternoons we have had some rain. The afternoon before last was better. I believe today's 35 or 40% chance, and it was a little overcast, but now it's kind of cleared up, and there was some fog out, so the humidity is kind of getting to a little bit of a breaking point right there, Revelation 17, verse 14. Together they will wage war against the Lamb, but the Lamb will defeat them, because he is Lord over all lords and King over all kings, and his people are the called and chosen and faithful ones. I don't have much to add on that one, really. I think it speaks for itself. Okay. John 15:13, chapter 15:13 through 15. And here is how to measure it. The greatest love is shown when people lay down their lives for their friends. You are my friends if you obey me. I no longer call you servants, because a master doesn't confide in his servants. Now you are my friends, since I have told you everything the Father told me. And that brings us back to the idea of what I said earlier. However you particularly communicate back and forth with the divine and the source of creation, the Creator, the Big Kahuna, the Christ consciousness. And you can say that I'm weird by saying Christ consciousness. I've seen people talk about that and try to say that if you're talking about Christ consciousness, you're like weird. Okay, well, Christ is a consciousness. The Christ has a consciousness. The Creator has a consciousness. But what I'm saying is, for me, I do believe it's important for each person to have their own individual personal understanding and back and forth relationship communication. And it's got to be a good sometimes we have to learn when to silence ourselves and just listen to whatever it is. And I have to do that a lot sometimes during the day, like I said. And plus, I'm trying not to add more pressure to myself, and that's why I'm going to take that one line right there up at the top very much to heart today. The do not bring performance pressures into our sacred space of communion. In other words, do what I can, be in the moment, learn where I'm at and be there, and realize that sometimes it's okay to take a little breather during the day. Sometimes it's okay to just be in a moment of silence. Sometimes that's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. It doesn't always have to be walking. It doesn't always have to be making a video. It doesn't always have to be doing a live stream. It doesn't have to necessarily be reading a comic book or reading out of the scripture or reading out of another spiritual type book or motivational book. It just means learning to be calm in the space, in the present moment, wherever I'm at, whatever situation. And that's what I'm working on. Easier said than done sometimes, but I'm going to keep working on it, trying to improve. And thank you for watching. Until next time, Mr. Grey Cloud Sage of the Eternal Moment, over and out. Ditto.